welcome to Inside Santa Cruz, and this is a fabulous, wonderful day and a dedication to Jack O'Neill and the wall here. So we can't thank you enough for all the things you've done for our community, the Sea Odyssey, the children's program, and all the wonderful things you've done. So again, thank you for a great, great day.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I could not have done it without the support from the community. They made it, they worked with us, and we had a good thing going. We still have a good thing going.
It's still going strong. Congratulations again, Jack.
And I enjoy it.
Cheers.
All the martinis, okay? Save one for me for later.
Hey, thanks so much.
You're very welcome.
Jack O'Neill's vision to see beyond and overcome the challenges of his day and go on to spark an entirely new industry is a unique California story. Frankly, for me, the O'Neill Santa Cruz Surf Shop is much cooler than Silicon Valley's garage. It's not just about the technological innovations the O'Neills invented and brought to market. It's also a symbol for our coastal economy, ocean education, and as the photos on this mural show, the development of a locally based family business. I'm very pleased to be here today to share in our community's recognition of Jack O'Neill and the entire O'Neill family for establishing their surf shop in Santa Cruz, their contributions to ocean education for youth, and for making this community their home. Please join me in congratulating them today.
The O'Neill family is one of our greatest community assets, and their commitments reflect and shape the values of our community and what makes Santa Cruz such a great place to call home. This is embodied in their respect for the environment, their entrepreneurial drive, and their commitment to education and stewardship through the work of the O'Neill Sea Odyssey. We have Jack and Pat to thank for making this region such a hotbed of innovation in the outdoor sports industry. Years before Ibis, Santa Cruz Bicycles, Surf Tech, and Juno started up, Jack O'Neill opened a 500-square-foot surf shop on this spot. From that small beginning, a global industry was born. We're thrilled to be here today to support this dedication and the wonderful mural, and to celebrate the fact that Jack chose to live, work, and raise his family here in Santa Cruz. Thank you.
What a beautiful day. Hello, Jack. Good to see you again. I first met Jack about 23 years ago, just after the Loma Prieta earthquake, in connection with some engineering work on his house. That first job was simple. He just wanted to make his house stronger and more resistant to earthquakes. As time went by, he would consult with me on various ideas about which he was thinking, many of which involved his home, but most involved surfing. Within a short time, I realized I was working with a modern Leonardo da Vinci, a Walt Disney, men of unquenchable curiosity, and feverishly inventive imaginations. Jack's imagination is truly without limits, and his most imaginative ideas were all about surfing. For example, in search of more and better waves, Jack has asked me to explore long, large, diameter sand-filled tubes stacked together and arranged just so, huge bladders anchored to the sea floor and floating just below the water surface, huge vessels one could pilot anywhere and submerge at just the right depth to create the perfect wave, even dragging surf wings behind ships to create a perfect wave for people to enjoy. Occasionally, Jack's passion for new things would catch me off guard. I will never forget the new living room window wall that he asked me to design. The old living room had floor-to-ceiling windows, but they were interrupted by posts about every 4 feet. And one day Jack said, "Mark, can we get rid of those posts and just have a big 8-foot tall, 16-foot long window?" By this time in our relationship, I had learned to just say, "Of course, Jack, we can do that." So we completed that design, and we designed a very simple wood and steel truss to support the roof and protect the window. During construction, I received an urgent phone call from Jack late one night, and all the message said was, "Mark, please come by the house tomorrow morning, first thing, 8:30. From the abruptness of the message, I have to confess I had feared something had gone very wrong, maybe a failure. So I was a bit anxious as I was driving over to the house next door, and I hesitated a moment before I knocked on the door. After being let in, I made my way to the living room only to find Jack sitting in the middle of the living room, staring out at the ocean through this big hole in the wall, which was going to receive the glass. Soon enough, Jack realized I was standing there, and as he turned to look at me, I could see his face beaming as he exclaimed, "Mark, it is so very beautiful, so much better than I imagined." I thought Jack was referring to the view, but it was the truss that had caught his eye. Jack was obviously thrilled, and I think we were both relieved. To me, this is the essence of Jack O'Neill, a pioneering spirit with the gift of imagining that which does not yet exist, fueled by an endless enthusiasm for trying new things and forever delighting in seeing dreams come true. Thank you, Jack.
The harbor opened in 1964, and Jack O'Neill and his partners quickly realized that that was their opportunity. They went from the 500 square foot box to a 6,500 square foot box that they invested in, and they became the largest investor in the harbor, by far, a private investment in the harbor. And it was a big risk because the harbor was unproven, both financially and operationally, had its problems, but they stuck with it. It was a pretty risky business. I came in 1978, and part of my duties was to be the manage leases, and I would often get these calls, which I referred to as telephone calls from orbit. And it was Jack on the line, and it went something like this. This is 1983. "Hey Jack, what's up?" There's always something to be nervous about. "You just bought a 65-foot catamaran, 28 feet wide. It's pretty big, Jack. Did you have a harbor you were thinking about putting that in?" That's what I was afraid of. Yeah. "Okay. And what are you going to do with it, Jack? Are you going to land F-16s? No, I'm going to land my hot air balloon." "Of course you are." Right. Well, tell me when you get closer, Jack. Yeah, I can work on that. Yeah, we'll work on that. So, the rest of the story is actually less or more improbable than what I just explained. The catamaran was half done, sitting in a field in Sand City, and it needed to be quite a bit of work done. And then they needed to close Del Monte Highway one night and drag it down on a biggie crane and truck rig and take it to the harbor and launch it, which they did with an 18-foot Boston whaler. This is a 30,000-pound boat, and they launched it over the Seine with a Boston whaler and about 10 guys in wetsuits, which I knew he had. Anyway, short story. 6 months later, it's sitting out here, and they're doing sea trials, and we get calls from people on the land. They're saying there's a boat on fire at Mile Buoy, and we say that's not a boat on fire, that's Jack O'Neill on fire. And so the O'Neill Cat, of course, became part of Team O'Neill, and Dan Hapley will tell you about the O'Neill Sea Odyssey, which is a wonderful, just plain wonderful operation that goes on at the harbor. But you know what? It never stopped. Those calls never stopped, and they haven't stopped. This is a true story. I got a call 10 days ago, March 14th, 2 o'clock. I logged it because I always do. It says, Jack, I'm retired. You want, what's up? You want to build a offshore reef for surfing? No, I don't own a dredge anymore. But we can get one of those. Let me just tell you, whatever you want to do, I'm in, because I know you're going to do it anyway. I might as well have some fun. Thanks for the ride, Jack.
There was a gentleman named Charlie Grimm who Jack described as one of the pillars of the beach. And Charlie told him, says, Jack, you're going to sell to the 5 guys on the beach, and then you're going to be out of business. Now, I think history has proven that to be false. So, fortunately, it wasn't true, and it took a lot of hard work to get there. So, before he moved here from San Francisco and moved his family here, Jack would come down to surf, and he noticed that there were consistent surf breaks, and he noticed the number of families that were here, and therefore, in his mind, there was a market for surfing, which is a market that he and his family began to build. Jack also worked to obtain federal registration for the name Surf Shop as well. So all of this stuff happened when the original surf shop was here. The story about the shop is interesting, is that the shop was originally up where the kiosk is for valet parking up at the Dream Inn. So when the original construction of the core of the Dream Inn was to occur, the surf shop either had to be moved or it had to be sent somewhere else. So the mayor of Santa Cruz at the time said, you know, you can't close that surf shop. It's Boys Town. And the concept was that in the morning, mothers would drop their kids off at the surf shop and pick them up later at night. So one day, the city sent a crane down, moved the shop down here, took out a couple parking meters, the story Jack tells, and put the surf shop closer to the beach and away from construction of the Dream Inn. Eventually the shop closed, but by that time the building at the harbor that Jack built with Harry Hine, as well as the production facility at 41st Avenue were underway. So the family built the business to what it is today, and all the kids were involved in that effort. And another effort which Jack and the kids have been involved in, of course, is the O'Neill Sea Odyssey. So we had Boys Town from 1959 to the mid-60s. Today we have Boys and Girls Town on a catamaran, on the ocean, and as of the end of this year, 75,000 students will have been involved in that effort. It's a free, and thank you for that.
On behalf of Jack O'Neill, his family, and everyone at O'Neill Wetsuits, and surfers everywhere, I want to thank Councilman David Terrasas and the City of Santa Cruz and all the surfers and environmental organizations and community activists who have supported this effort and worked toward this day. You know, Jack just told me a little while ago that there's likely more people here today than in the first several years that the surf shop was open. And back then in the winter it was pretty slow. Well, of course that's not the case anymore. When we started this process well over a year ago, David and I attended the State Historic Resources Commission meeting in Alameda regarding their consideration of the point of interest recognition and for this surf shop and this site, and we really had no idea what to expect. I mean, a state agency declaring and officially recognizing surfing as an important cultural resource event in the history of California and the United States. Who would have thought? But the vote was unanimous, and from my vantage point, it looked as though the surf shop item was the most fun and was the happiest thing they'd considered and worked on in a long time. And that has always been Jack's point, that it's always summer on the inside, and first in and last out, and jump in the ocean and make everything all right. What began as a humble and modest enterprise designed to encourage surfing has morphed into a worldwide billion-dollar business, economy, and culture that have come to define and characterize our community of Santa Cruz and the state of California. This is really an amazing story. Last and not least, I'd like to thank Jack and his family. It's been his creativity, his passion for the coast, his inquisitiveness, his inventiveness, his die-hard support and recreation spirit and love of the coast, love for his family and this community and the culture of surfing that has produced all of these amazing accomplishments. And it started here. It started right here on this corner, nurturing and teaching kids and providing for healthy exercise and recognition. Thank you, Jack, and thank you, Santa Cruz.
Yeah, it's a proud moment and excited for Jack.
Were you little and did you spend a lot of time at the surf shop?
Yeah, I used to play on the beach here and skimboard and go surfing with Jack out at the Cows.
Oh, this is great. Great day, huh, Lisa? Yeah, we're honored. We're happy to be here. Oh, God. Thank you so much. There's so many people here. It's wonderful.
O'Neill is iconic Santa Cruz, and this celebrates it. And it's a tribute to to David, who had this idea, making this a state point of historical interest, engaging the family, all the community resources that came to play, and the City Arts program in there too. So it has so many things, great partnerships.
Yeah. Oh, I told David earlier. I said, "Oh, fabulous, Lynn Robinson. Say a few words. How are you?"
It's so fabulous. Actually, seeing how many of the O'Neills came out, because you just got to see multi-generations. It's not often you get to see Jack, but that's how much this means. It's really one of those iconic opportunities. And at this location, to be able to have people, you know how many people come by this spot. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, locals and tourists. And now they really get to understand how historic that location is. So I just think it's phenomenal. It's just fabulous.
I know.
The turnout today, you couldn't ask for a better turnout.
And the weather was perfect.
And I'm going to say, it turns a blank wall into a destination.
I know. I'm so excited. And for the whole family, too.
It's wonderful. So being able to just say hello and congratulations to them all and having that just be a place of honor today is very special.
Listen, it's such a fabulous event, and all the whole O'Neill family is here, so pretty exciting.
It's great. And David Terrasas really worked his tail off to make this happen, to recognize what Jack did. So I think he really deserves a lot of credit.
Well, we're so proud, and I'm so proud of the City Council this year. I mean, all the things they're doing.
Well, thank you. It's nice to have a nice event, and it's nice to honor somebody while they're with us, and we can show them how much we appreciate them.
How great is that?
This is a good moment.
Right.
I think it was certainly long overdue. Jack's always had an incredible relationship with our city, with our police department, and I'm glad he's being honored in such a great way. I mean, making the historical site here goes above and beyond, and I think it's, like I said, long overdue from the beginning.
Well, we can't thank you enough for helping Jack. I mean, we had the barriers, and you drove him right in, and it was because of you. You made it very easy for the whole family.
Well, I think that's the least we could do. I think Jack's done so much for the city, so much for the community, so much for our youth. He certainly deserves the access.
Oh, well, good job, and thank you. Thank you.
Roll the serve. Your whole family.
Oh boy! What an afternoon!
Oh.
Time, huh, Jack? You've seen a lot.
I've seen it all.
Was it good?
Yes, without a wetsuit all those years, and I think, well, how did you do that? Cashmere sweaters, you know, and all cashmere sweaters and wool sweaters. I don't know how we did that.
You're a longtime friend of Jack's, and your name is?
Betty Van Dyke, Marta Sitch Van Dyke. Yeah.
And a surfer?
Yeah, from a long time ago.
A long time
Betty
ago.
was the only girl surfer in town years ago.
Wow, wow. So how did that work?
She
It
helped,
worked fine.
It was fun?
Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely.
and she was a good surfer too.
She was. Oh,
Yes.
that's a great
I think
story.
Betty and a couple of her friends are one of the first to ever fly over on one of those old propeller planes to Hawaii.
Remember, we called them the rubber band airlines because it was $99 to fly over in a prop plane, and the seats were kind of screwed into the floor of the plane. It was like a fold-up chair, and they gave you cheese sandwiches without mayonnaise or lettuce for your flight. That was your food.
And she had a hell of a time getting the board on. Because they weren't used to taking boards over.
Right.
Oh yeah, it was McGuire's board. It was so big, and they put the surfboards in. There was no place for them in the thing, so they put them in the aisle of the plane between the seats.
Oh my goodness. David, we want to say you have done a magnificent job in making this all happen. I know it took you over a year.
Yeah, it was. We started the process in 2011, and it was a pleasure. I mean, not only getting to know, the history of the surf shop, but also just meeting with Jack and kind of getting the story of his work and contributions here in Santa Cruz. I mean, I think it's an amazing family story, and I just really feel like very, very thankful to be able to have worked with you on this project.
Are you doing much surfing yourself?
Yeah, well, not as much as you did.
That's great.
You're getting out.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's great. I really appreciate it. I've never had anything happen like this.
No, thank you. It was like a pleasure, my pleasure.
Toast to Jack and his family.
All
of you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And you are doing one hell of a job with the Sea Odyssey.
Thank you. I
That
appreciate
is
that.
Very, very good thing we got going.
It is. It was a good idea you had.
And they had made arrangements for the shop to go into the Dream Inn.
Mm-hmm.
We had a place down at the bottom of the Dream Inn.
Okay.
The only trouble was it didn't have a door.
That's a problem.
I had to climb over.
It's true.
Do you remember that place?
Yeah, I do.
So you had to climb over, so that must have been bad for business. Or was it good for business?
I don't know. He'd have to know that.
Well, we couldn't get anybody in or out. We could hand the board out.
He was the only act in town, though. He was the only act in town, so
We couldn't get anybody in. They have to climb over a wall.
And this was your backyard.
I have a question.
Peter McGettigan had a question.
O'Neill is a very famous name in Ireland. Do you know the history of O'Neill?
No, I get mixed up when I get over there.
One of the kings was an O'Neill.
Do you remember that story?
No, I don't.
They were a gutty bunch. They got our coat of arms has a hand on it.
Okay.
They were coming in the store, and the first one there claimed they're going to be king. So one guy took him through his hand on the store, and he got to be king.
Interesting.
Hi, I'm Kathy O'Neill, and this is a great day for the O'Neill family regarding the original Santa Cruz surf shop. I was about 8 or 9 when the shop was open then. It was originally pretty much a boys' club, so I did not spend a lot of time there. In fact, I kind of don't even remember what the inside looked like. However, I spent a lot of time on the beach with my 2 brothers, Mike and Pat, and mostly in wetsuits. Jack would send us off to the boardwalk to advertise our products. And we'd be covered up with big hats and these wetsuits all the way to our arms. And this is a very exciting day for the O'Neill family, and my father, Jack, is being honored. Who would ever thought that our original surf shop would be an iconic California landmark? And thank you very much, Santa Cruz.
Hi, Jack. Your longtime friend, Bruce McPherson. Wishing you the best and thanking you for who you are. You're an icon in Santa Cruz County, an entrepreneur, a public servant, somebody who really reaches out and gives people more opportunity to enjoy this great Santa Cruz County surroundings. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for just the congenial, nice person that you are, and what you have allowed so many of us to do, surf for long times, sometimes for hours. But you know, also it's what you do as a public servant. Your business acumen is just phenomenal. But what you have done to expand that, in your Sea Odyssey, for instance, to give kids, 75,000 of them over the years, to the opportunity to explore the oceans and to appreciate it like you do so much. So I just want to say thank you for what you have done for this county, for everybody that's in it, and for particularly the children. You are really highly respected, and we have appreciated everything you have done. You're a great person, and I feel very privileged to call you my friend. See you later.
Congratulations, Jack O'Neill and the entire O'Neill family. I wish I had more time for interviews, but I did take a lot of photos. David Terrazas, we all want to thank you for the time and effort you have put into making this dedication possible. But this is to be continued. We all are looking forward to the painting of the wall, so stay tuned. I also want to thank my cameraman, Yamal Durier, for the great footage for this event, but also I want to mention our first ever aerial shots with his new drone. And a special thank you to our Santa Cruz Police Department, Kevin Bogle and Rick Martinez, for their police escort for Jack O'Neill. It was so appreciated, and it was very helpful on the day of the event. This is truly an amazing American story, and if you want to know more about Jack O'Neill, family, and friends, go to the Bookshop Santa Cruz and check out Jack's book. I'm here today at the Santa Cruz Yacht Club overlooking our beautiful harbor. I want to thank all of you for watching Inside Santa Cruz, so let's go out on the Team O'Neill catamaran. Bye now.